Alright, Chainsaw Man was all fun and games until they killed the dogs and they killed Meowie! You bastards!
Bring down the bomber, destroy their homes, spread molten rock across their field, give them all death.
Cancel them on Twitter too. Seriously though, Fujimoto is really trying to make sure we hate Barum and really want Chainsaw Man back, and let me tell ya, it's working. There is nothing more effective than killing one single pet. I mean, that's literally the plot to John Wick, right? So what happens when you kill several? And on top of that, you kill Meowie, who may be the most beloved pet in all of Chainsaw Man, by the way. Well, hopefully it's Chainsaw Man murderizing Barum, but we'll get into that and so much more in this chapter and video. If you love Chainsaw Man, then this is the channel for you. Drop a like and subscribe, as coming soon we have a What If Himeno video coming, which I think is pretty cool, so definitely check it out. But before we even begin the chapter, usually I don't try to make this distinction, but this chapter is titled Dream's Next Stage. To me, this is clearly Fujimoto trying to tell us that Denji is likely about to flip the page into another chapter of his life. Pun very intended on that one, but more specifically his dream. Throughout all of Chainsaw Man, Denji has sought this normal life where he gets to score with a girl, eat whatever he wants, and just enjoy what life has to offer him. And throughout his journey, he is always torn. Does he settle for the life of a public safety dog? Does he settle for the life of a student? Does he settle for living with Nayuta, which technically was his dream of living with Makima? The thing about Chainsaw Man though is that no matter what, the choice is always seemingly made for him in each instance. Sure, Makima did give him the illusion of choice, and that's something that is a part of every one of these examples, but no way Denji would ever want to die in that case, and that goes against his entire character. He wanted to just be a normal student, but being Chainsaw Man gave him too much of a thrill that he couldn't escape from, and currently living with Nayuta, he is fooling himself into thinking that he wants this, when it is clear he is doing this because it's what normal means. Now, with this chapter, things are once again being decided for him against his will, and I think there is a deeper meaning to this, but I'll talk about that later in the video, of course. So Denji with Nayuta on his back is running through the alleyways of Japan. There is a sobering realization from Nayuta that gives a bit of surrealism when she says that it's almost like a normal day and Nayuta may have to go to school. Wow, that side is on the surface kind of funny because things are clearly not normal. People are loading bodies into the back of trucks while men and women are walking to work starting their normal 9-to-5 shifts. But that is the thing. This is so surreal because in this world, that's normal. One thing I've loved about part 2 is how well it develops the world of Chainsaw Man, where part 1 felt more like, I don't know, just as an errant example here, One Punch Man. And what I mean by that is like random devils show up, public safety saves the day, wait for the next threat, that sort of thing. And I use One Punch Man as an example in this case because I've actually started reading that series for the first time. Fubuki, best girl by the way, don't at me. However, in part 2, the world seems like it's absolutely crumbling and all structure that is left is in of itself compromised. It feels as if the end times have arrived, well, and you kind of realize they've probably arrived quite a while ago, and the Gun Devil was only the beginning of this, well, apocalypse. I mean, as well, part 2 introduces characters like famine, war, etc., 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 which are a part of the legendary 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But I think this moment really focuses in on telling us that the normal day-to-day has long since been compromised and that it's now normal to go to work seeing a truck full of mutilated, dead men, women, and children. But what I love about this is that Denji has this flash in his head of all the things waiting for him at home, and it's so warm and comforting. Normal, comfortable life with Nayuta, a normal day with Nayuta trying her best to lead her platoon of canines while balancing Meowie on her shoulder. Very cute. Being flanked at dinner by dogs while they eat, being surrounded by dogs while they sleep. Alright, I must admit, this isn't exactly my thing. One dog is good enough, but it's still pretty cute. I'm more of a cat person myself though. Denji once again tells himself that he needs to return to his ordinary life, the one he's been dreaming of, and that, once again, consciously telling himself that he doesn't need a Chainsaw Man. He's also telling Pochita that he's happy now, as he steps on a crow, poor Ere, and he is drawn into a moment with Pochita where the cutie patootie says, their dream finally came true. Mega side note, this is all just another example of Asa cross-Denji propaganda by Fudanari. Both of them now have stepped on Ere. This is another aspect of Denji that I think adds onto this split in what he wants and really what he needs. Technically, yes, he was able to fulfill a dream of living a normal life, but as Pochita puts it, what is his next dream? And Denji says something pretty incredible here. Next? The reason I think this line is great is because I realize that Denji has never ever thought about what is next. He never went, okay, I completed a dream of mine, what will I do next? And that's the thing with humans. We don't stop after one dream has been achieved. We usually enjoy that and then try to start working on something else or something else during working on another dream. Maybe you want to write poetry, learn coding, or do wood carving or something. We have a lot of time to use up, so when you achieve something great, you don't just stop with that and wither away. You keep pursuing growth because that is a key factor in the pursuit of happiness, something which Denji is truly searching for, and being normal was just one of those things that was key in his pursuit of happiness. Of course, the next dream for him is to be Chainsaw Man because, as I've stated in previous videos, that is who he is. Part 2 was all about suppressing his dreams because that's what being normal was about. Normal people don't turn into Chainsaw Man, right? But the thing is that Denji is Chainsaw Man. That's normal to him. He can't stop being him. That is part of his identity. To ignore that part of his identity would be tantamount to Denji's death as a character. What they see before themselves is their apartment, which is engulfed in flame as Nayata and Denji realize that inside that fire was their pets. Denji, without even thinking, on instinct, gets up and runs toward the flame. But that son of a bitch Bento, he's back! And he tells Denji, after tripping him, that if you need to burn someone, it has to be family because he realized that killing Asa Mitaka wouldn't have done much. Which, yeah, probably right. They don't really know each other well. And with a shit-eating grin, he says, plus, cats and dogs seem more flammable. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a minute here tonight to tell you that this man needs to die. If Denji doesn't do it, surely Nayata will murder this man. Denji may be Nayata's number 1, but the dogs and Meowie are all tied for number 2. And let me tell you, it's a pretty close race. So this should also be scary too, because Nayata's got that old dog in her in the form of Makima. Nayata may seem like a generally harmless weirdo kid, but my dudes, my gals, they killed her dogs and cat. They killed Meowie. The only people allowed to kill her pets is herself. So right on time, public safety arrives with Fumiko with that incredible midriff to put several rounds into him, noting that they should aim for his head and hands as his transformation trigger is a molar, which is super interesting. Seems that Fumiko didn't give up on Denji or Nayata though, and I feel like her introduction was almost like clickbait for her character. Fumiko is actually really cool, actually. I feel like that introduction sort of did a disservice to her in a way. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, I'd probably just chill out with Fumiko. She seems pretty nice, but she's also really cool at dodging because she blocks the swipe from a devil that chops a dude in half. Gotta ask the question, is this the infamous Justice Devil or is this the infamous Hentai Tentacle Devil? I mean, it's got the tendrils and stuff. It's also has the same kind of teeth as Chainsaw Man 2. Not sure what that means though, other than they're probably a bitch to clean. In my humble opinion, this entire chapter was yet another reminder that life doesn't care for what you wear or which way you might sway. It's going to throw you a curveball when you least or even most expect it, and you're going to be changed, whether you like it or not. You can't live the same life forever. Hell, you'd be lucky to not change after 3 years, let alone just one singular year like Denji has. Life will get better just as it will get worse, and it's up to you to deal with it and rise to the occasion. It's scary, but you can also rely on it to comfort you at the same time because you know what's going to happen. In my opinion, this is what Denji is experiencing to a degree. It's scary to be Chainsaw Man, and it's really better to live a normal life, but there is always comfort in being Chainsaw Man too. It is who he is and what he knows, something he can rely on. To rely on himself, really, in times of great change and upheaval in his life. Pochita was always there to support him, whether it was chopping down trees for a slice of bread or being the engine of his soul. This chapter is a reminder that life will make you change and set you on to the next stage of your life, or in Denji's case, the dream's next stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time. Futanari has for a majority of this arc been dragging Denji through the mud and making us as an audience crave and desire the return of Chainsaw Man. So much so, some people have even dropped this series, which, feel sorry for them, but, I get it, to each their own and all that. But him admitting in that moment his next dream is to be Chainsaw Man is what we've been waiting for, what we've been craving for. The return of Chainsaw Man. Obviously, put down in the comments below what you thought about this chapter of Chainsaw Man. I thought it was pretty incredible, so share your feedback on that and share your feedback on the video if you got anything to say about my editing or something. But real quick, I realize I've been doing this a lot, so I don't want to annoy you guys with this needless stuff like this, but the last video I did is now my all-time most successful Chainsaw Man video ever. If you guys don't know, I do this channel as a hobby. I don't do this for money. I do run ads, but that's really only to fund extra projects like my Himeno What If video coming soon. Otherwise, I do this for the love of Chainsaw Man, my community on Discord, and for myself. So to see that video get over 14,000 views in just a week, well, that's mental to me. Like, every week I maybe expect like 500 views, and you guys always blow away my admittedly dismal expectations. So thank you all, and once again, sorry for the rambling, but that's why I put this at the end of the video, so you guys can easily ignore it. But for those that care, I do think I sort of owe it to you because you guys are the lifeblood of this channel at this point. It is you who are keeping this channel from being dead because I literally can't make extra content on this channel right now, and you guys are funding the possibility of that extra content. So thank you. I appreciate you and love you all. Talk to Ka, my fellow birdlings. Financially support what I do by becoming a patron, where you'll gain access to my mega One Piece arc reviews and first impression. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.